You say you want to be understood, but you don't. If you truly wanted to be understood, you would be able to tolerate disagreement, but you can't. And that's the part you don't want to look at. Because the moment someone says, "I see your point, but I don't agree," something inside you shifts, tension, discomfort, a quiet urge to respond, to explain again, to clarify, to fix it. But you're not fixing misunderstanding. You're trying to remove disagreement, and those are not the same thing. You don't want clarity. You want confirmation. You want someone to look at what you said and reflect it back to you as correct. Because when they do, you feel stable. You feel grounded. You feel certain of who you are. But when they don't, you start adjusting. You add more words. You change your tone. You soften your position. You try again, not because they didn't understand you, but because they didn't validate you. And this is where it becomes dangerous. Because now your identity is no longer internal. It's negotiated. It depends on how others respond to you. And that means you don't own it. You say you want success. But imagine this for a moment. You achieve everything you said you wanted. You reach your goals. You build something meaningful. You become who you said you wanted to become. But nobody notices. Nobody praises you. Nobody agrees with your choices. Nobody validates your journey. Would it still feel like success, or would it feel empty? Be honest, because if it feels empty, then success was never the goal. Validation was. You don't chase outcomes, you chase recognition. And that changes the entire structure of your behavior. Because now you don't move based on what is true. You move based on what will be accepted. You start filtering yourself, not consciously, subtly. You hesitate before speaking. You adjust how you express things. You remove parts of your thoughts that might create friction, because friction feels like rejection, and rejection feels like something is wrong with you. So you avoid it. You stay safe. You stay agreeable. You stay explainable. But in doing that, you lose something. You lose precision. You lose honesty. You lose yourself. Because you are no longer expressing what you actually think. You're expressing what will be received well, and that is not communication. That is performance. This is why you over-explain. Pay attention to it. When someone doesn't immediately agree with you, you don't stop. You keep going. You repeat your point in different words. You add more context, more logic, more emotion, more justification, and it feels necessary. It feels like you're just trying to be clear. But if clarity was the goal, you would stop once the message is understood. You don't. Because you are no longer expressing what you actually think. You're expressing what will be received well. And that is not communication. That is performance. This is why you over-explain. Pay attention to it. When someone doesn't immediately agree with you, you don't stop. You keep going. You repeat your point in different words. You add more context, more logic, more emotion, more justification. And it feels necessary. It feels like you're just trying to be clear. But if clarity was the goal, you would stop once the message is understood. You don't, because understanding is not enough for you. Agreement is. And that's the trap. Because agreement is something you cannot control. No matter how precise you are, no matter how calm you are, no matter how intelligent your explanation is, people will still disagree with you. And if your stability depends on agreement, you will always feel unstable. You will always feel like something is unresolved. You will always feel the need to go back and fix the conversation, replay it, adjust it, improve it, win it. But there is nothing to win, because the real problem was never the conversation. It was your dependency on the outcome. This is also why being misunderstood affects you so deeply. It's not just frustrating, it feels personal. Because to you, being misunderstood doesn't mean they didn't get my point. It means they don't see me. And deeper than that, I am not recognized. I am not validated. I am not enough. So your nervous system reacts, not to the words, but to the meaning you attach to them. And that meaning is tied to your identity. This is why small interactions feel heavy. This is why simple disagreements stay in your mind for hours. This is why you replay conversations long after they're over. Because you're not processing information. You're trying to restore identity. But identity that depends on others will always feel fragile. Because it can always be taken away. One comment, one disagreement, one moment of dismissal, and suddenly you feel off, uncertain, unstable. That's not confidence. That's conditional identity. And most people never question it. They build their entire life around it. They choose careers that bring recognition. They say things that get approval. They avoid anything that risks rejection. And they call it strategy. But it's not strategy. It's fear. Fear of not being validated. Fear of not being seen. Fear of existing without confirmation. But real psychological strength starts where that dependency ends. Not when people understand you, but when you no longer need them to. Think about that carefully, because this is where everything changes. You can say something once, clearly, and stop. You don't chase agreement. You don't force alignment. You don't adjust your truth to make it easier to accept. You let it stand. And if someone misunderstands you, nothing breaks. If someone disagrees with you, nothing shifts. If someone doesn't validate you, nothing collapses. Because your identity is not inside their reaction, it's inside you. That's what stability actually feels like. Quiet, unreactive, grounded. You don't feel the urge to fix every perception. You don't feel the need to win every conversation. You don't feel threatened by disagreement, because disagreement no longer means rejection. It just means difference. And difference is neutral. But you turned it into something else. You turned it into a threat. Because you attached your identity to agreement. Remove that attachment, and the entire experience changes. You become more direct, more precise, more calm. You speak less, but what you say carries more weight, because it's not diluted by the need to be accepted. It's anchored in truth, and truth does not need validation. It exists whether people agree with it or not. So let me ask you something. When someone disagrees with you, what happens inside you? Do you feel the urge to explain again? Do you feel tension in your body? Do you start searching for better words, better arguments, better ways to make them understand? Or more honestly, to make them agree? And after the conversation ends, do you replay it? Do you think about what you should have said? Do you try to fix it in your head? If you do, then you're not seeking understanding. You're seeking validation. And as long as you're seeking that, you will always feel dependent, always reactive, always slightly unstable. But the moment you see it clearly, you can step out of it. You can speak without needing agreement. You can be misunderstood without feeling rejected. You can exist without being confirmed. And that's when something shifts. Everything becomes quieter. You stop chasing approval. You stop fearing disagreement. You stop adjusting yourself to fit other people's expectations. And for the first time, you are not performing. You are just there, clear, stable, unmoved, and free.